So, other games on Saturday, we had Jordan's very own Blazers bringing back a game, tying the series at 2 in a weird series, a lot of blowout games. So we're not going to discuss that yet. Potentially, if that goes 6 or 7. Don't worry, George. There will be some Blazers talk coming your way. Sixers actually demolished the Wizards. Embiid, just doing what you do, man. Just keep doing it, man. Love it. The Jazz pull out game 3 against the Grizz. And then we had 2 yesterday's games. The first early tip was the back and forth. The chatty affair between the Hawks and the Knicks. And can I just say, I'm really enjoying this series from a trash talking standpoint. And I can't wait to see what happens in game 5. But as we all know, Atlanta takes game 4. They got 3-1 in the series, which they pretty much expected to win. I think they've got more talent than the Knicks. The Knicks obviously play hard, but we're going to go to George for this. Tell me what you saw from this game.
Yeah, man. Again, like this series has been very exciting, and I feel like it's a very heated series. I think, like, I'm talking from the Knicks mindset in terms of where it's tough for them. Like, it's great to see like Derrick Rose showing out and putting in those performances throughout the games, but again, their most improved player in Randall hasn't really been showing up very much in many of the games, and it's tough on that aspect because they really needed that performance, that output which they saw from him in the regular season, which hasn't been here in this series, which is very tough to watch. Of course, along with that, you've had like the whole trash talking, like you mentioned, between Trey and the fans at the start, which kind of, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of feel like they poked the bear with that one. You know, it's like the Knicks fans to me are like that friend where you just want them to shut up because you know something's bad's about to happen, but they just won't.
George, you should need to watch Winning Time, Reggie Miller and the Knicks, and Spike Lee being the instigator. It's exactly what you said. So true.
Literally, honestly. So yeah, it's just when you go back and watch the games, you see the stuff which Trey is doing, and he's just taking the Knicks apart in terms of the play. Yeah, the Knicks are getting their ends in, but you can see the Knicks are battling a lot more for every point to actually gain some ground and catch up on them, especially with their players missing those odd shots every now and then. Trey is just out there. He's doing his floaters. He's getting his passes. He's spotting the free man wherever, and it's just an easy bucket. And like Wildy said earlier when we were recording the regular season, they're not looking to take the first option or the second option. They are looking to put up their shooting percentage to the max and take that literally easiest shot there can be. Like you saw it in the previous game where they just swung it round the outside of the 3-pointers until they found the most free option man, and they were just throwing bodies at every shooter which they could see, and they just kept on moving the ball, and it just led to those easy shots. So yeah, I think I'm like with this mindset with everyone where it seems like the last nail's about to be put in the coffin, but we'll see.
Yeah, there was an air raid sign going on. I think it was Trey Young dropping the bombs on the Knicks. Speaking of Trey Young, we are so far away from where we were earlier this season with him and John Collins fighting. You see them celebrating up and down the court, and I think this is just completely different.
Yeah,
he seems like it seems more of a unit, and I really like that with Atlanta.
Yeah, definitely.
People finding they're fine-tuning their roles. They obviously have a lot of depth, and yeah, I really like watching Atlanta. But on the Knicks side of things, we spoke about it briefly before, George. Julius Randle's not having a good series, and every possession that he has, every shot that he's taking is really difficult. They're really making it difficult for him. And you saw at the end of game 4, frustration foul, elbow Gallinari, he's out of the game.
Yeah, exactly. Like watching it from the very first game where you watch him play and you saw he wasn't making the shots, everyone was like, oh, not to worry. I'm sure it's like just first game. I believe it's like his first appearance in the playoffs as well. So they thought, oh, just the nerves kind of thing. You let it get to him. Next game, it's back on it. And it seems like we're just waiting for the next game for him to turn it on. But it just isn't working for him.
I'm not sure if as the two Matts may have seen, I did propose a trade to our good friend J Dubs about a week or so ago, which was the New York Knicks for his Portland Trailblazers. And I gave Jordan 48 hours and I didn't hear back from him. But in that whilst that was going on, I was, doing my scouting of the Knicks and checking out a couple games. And I think it may have been game 3 or game 2, where Julius Randle, I think the first offensive possession for the Knicks was he took a step back 3 and it was nothing but money. And I was like, oh, this is going to go well. This is a great sign. And yeah, the rest of the game didn't go that well. But George, you had your chance. That's not happening anymore. So yeah, sucks for you. Just saying.
Literally, I was worried that you were going to bring that up because I was thinking, oh God, what have I done? I should have traded. But yeah, man. We'll see.
I was talking to Matt about the series over the weekend. And just talking about Trae Young in general, because I was saying to him, I'm just surprised how the Knicks just aren't attacking him on defense more often, and how Atlanta's just been able to fight through screens and be a bit better at dealing with Trae Young on the defensive end, a bit better. And then we start speaking about Trae's offensive game and we're saying just how his floater is just so effective and how it helps the rest of the team, because then when he's driving to the paint, the big has to come out and defend him, which leaves the alley-oop so open. And you see so many of those alley-oop dunks for Capella and John Collins and the other Hawks centers. It's like, oh, damn, they figured out a way to make the Knicks look really shit on defense. And I was looking at some of the advanced stats, and the Hawks have got a better defensive rating than the Knicks in the playoffs, which I found super interesting compared to obviously going into the year how the Knicks were. They hang their heart on defense. I think I also saw that the Knicks are struggling to get easy buckets. And by that, even if it's just fast break or something like that, I think they've got the lowest amount of points on the fast break in the playoffs this year, which is, again, disappointing because usually fast break can get some nice quick points, but they're not pushing the tempo much with the team. Maybe it's because they've got a 32-year-old Derrick Rose leading the point. Maybe it's because Julius Randle is the one getting the rebounds and then starting the fast break. I don't know, but that was also something else that I noticed that felt disappointing from a Knicks perspective.
But it is really a matchup nightmare for the Knicks. Because Trae Young is an incredibly small, incredibly quick guard, and 32-year-old Derrick Rose is not keeping up. Alec Burks is not keeping up quickly. Hasn't been in the league long enough to know the kind of things that Trae is going to be doing. And then as soon as you get Taj Gibson starting a center, that's barbecue chicken. He's on an island. He can't do anything. And you made a really good point. Like the Hawks are sticking Trae Young on Reggie Bullock most of the time, and Reggie Bullock is just stood on the 3-point line. He's not doing it.
Make him work.
I mean, it's just you need to run him through screens. You need to have Taj Gibson. You need to have RJ Barrett. You need to have the bigger guys just crunching screen after crunching screen. Get him on a switch. Put him in the post. Put him in the basket. Like, don't let them hide him on defense, because otherwise he's going to come back and torch you. And it's exactly what he's been doing. As far as I can see, it looks like this series might be a wrap. I'm really interested to see in the next series. It looks like obviously the 76ers.
Oh yeah, put him in the post. Put him on the post against Simmons.
Yeah, but how are they going to? I want to see how they defend him though. Obviously Simmons is that much bigger, but it's still. Alex has said before that the Sixers struggle with really small guards. They're obviously they have way more talent, so it'll be interesting to see how they adjust to that. Obviously, Embiid protecting the paint is a little bit different to Taj Gibson. As much as I love him, it's just not the same thing. But really great work out of the Hawks. Got to hand it to them. Great.
Can't wait to watch the second round matchups with Wildy. That is going to be fun. He said, "I'm currently banned." Huh?
Very, very last quick thing, Alex. I'm just thinking about the matchups. The Hawks are a scarier prospect than the Knicks are for Philly, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. We've struggled with guarding Trae Young in the last year. season, we lost every game to the Hawks because we couldn't guard that floating matchup. But that was with Al Horford. That was a long time ago, and he's gone.
Even,
so yeah,
even just thinking of a centre matchup, I'm sure you'd rather have whoever
Noel.
Nerlens Noel, that's who it is, compared to Clint Capella, because obviously Mitchell Robinson was injured for the Knicks earlier on in the season. But
and don't get it wrong, Bogey's a problem. And I think he would match up really well against Steph Curry. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, when we get there.